Okay, I found the enemy and I am the enemy. So 100% the problem was the contrast. So this is just one layer titanium oxide, and I did several test grids with this. This is on porcelain, and it's a white kind of marble glaze on it. It's more of a flat glaze, it's not glossy at all. And then the layer of titanium oxide. And what I did is I had lightened the contrast here, thinking that somehow that would make it pop, but obviously that was the opposite choice. And it was one layer, and I got about 3/4 of the way done. I was like, we'll just stop here. And I adjusted the contrast so it was just a much darker image and pale. So I'm very excited about this. I'm going to let it go and run the full length. And if that's good, I'm going to scale it up to a full size. And I think this might be the answer I was looking for. So yay! If this works, my plan is, obviously I want to do pictures on tile. That would be neat. But my bigger plan is for the Rosetta seeds, right? The idea is that here's the question. I'd like to burn in my Rosetta seed, right? So just a regular engraved, deep engraved, something like. So this is 60 watt MOPA. This is Omtech, by the way, laser. Omtech. And so I think what I'll do is I'll do a. So this is my next test after this image. I'm doing this image as a gift for someone. So, and I'm also learning at the same time. So, two birds, one stone. Anyway, the idea is if I can engrave the seed, right? And most of it's text. I do have some images on some of them, like the fire seed has some, so that'll really pop. And then what I'll do is I'll leave it in place. I'll put one coating on it, let it dry, right? And it's the good thing about this oxide is, and I'll have to set this tray up a little better, and I'll have to do my whole setting here a lot better, differently. But anyway, so that, obviously I'm not making a great mess out of this. But then I can put one layer on it. I mean, this thing dries pretty quick. I do have a dry pad that I can stick near here, so I can blow air over it and suck the air out at the same time. And so it'll dry rapidly. I probably have it dry in, no time at all. And then since it's not moved, then I'll engrave over the titanium oxide and see if it'll make that mark. Because my big problem, my big challenge here has been that trying to get this thing to pop, right? I mean, granted, the long-term goal of a Rosetta seed is just to last, right? And these are just different ones that have, failed or done okay. Some of them have done well. But, the one that's popped the most are these black ones, right? And these definitely pop a lot. But there's a lot that goes into this. And I would say for marketing purposes, and if you're gonna buy a full tile, these things are, retail $300. And there's a reason for that. These are expensive. It's cost me a lot of money for this laser. It takes a lot of time to figure all this stuff out. And the idea and the goal is, in time, I can buy another laser and have them both running at the same time. I can buy tile in bulk, and I'll have my method dialed in really good, and then I can pump these out even faster. And at least some of these I'll do much cheaper. The idea is to get as many of these out, spread throughout the world, preferably in libraries, in museums, in colleges, universities, government institutions. I'd like the whole library. So a whole library would be several of these panels, right? And I'm about halfway through a full library of seeds. And these seeds obviously consist of different ways of restarting technology, like how to make an electric generator, for instance. Very basics, right? But it's stuff like if Michael Faraday could have got a hold of one of these seeds, you know, we would probably be 200 years in the future. We would probably have, you know, ships teleporting to Mars right now or something. But the point is that the long run, the long run here is to make these as well as possible and as cheap as possible without making them cheap, and spreading them throughout the world. And that way, if anything ever happened, I call it civilization insurance, right? Um, you know, I'm a believer, so no matter what, I believe there would be a remnant if the worst happens. If, you know, if the worst type of government officials were to somehow get a hold of the nuclear codes, right, and decide they're going to be, you know, arrogant enough to use big bada booms, right? And then we all go back to the Stone Age. Well, if we're in the Stone Age, you know, and these libraries are found, and you know, some of these are language, so they'll even teach you how to read them, right? And then they'll teach you about electricity. They'll teach you about how to do fire. They'll teach you how to make lenses and how to make a telescope and a microscope and how to, you know, do minor medical things like washing your hands and germ theory and just their seeds, right? I'm not trying to give a full lesson into anything, but if you get enough of these out there, you know, and these, you know, you run into people that have the intelligence and the ability to you know, act on these seeds, talking about jump-starting civilization, talking about saving lives, you know, with medical procedures. So that's really my goal here, and I feel like I'm moving forward. I just need help. I could use some sponsors. I could use, you know, ultimately my goal is to have as many different institutions backing me up and helping me out, so that ultimately we are safeguarding our future. And the other big thing is, I know it sounds kind of a downer, oh, you're creating civilization insurance because the whole world might end or something, right? Well, the other thing is a reminder, right? You know, this is hope. We know what a solar system is. We know, you know, we've learned about the Bill of Rights. We understand the importance of the First Amendment and, you know, the James Webb Telescope, and we're looking at, you know, galaxy formation at the very beginning of the universe, and we're questioning the you know, the basics of our understanding of physics. And you know, the hope here is these are reminders to us all that this is what we've accomplished. You know, crop rotation, electricity. This is, you know, this is our history. This is what we've done as a species. And this is, you know, to give us hope, to remind, it wasn't easy to get to where we are. You know, a lot of people work very hard under horrible circumstances to bring plumbing, to turn on the lights, you know, to make this cell phone. So help out.